Am I the a-hole for telling my sister she had no right to make promises on mom's behalf or mine, and all hurt feelings are her fault? A few months ago, my sister found out that our mom had given a baby up for adoption when she was a teenager. She told me and went to confront mom about never saying anything, but mom shut down. Our dad told us that mom had been abused by someone in her family for years, and the pregnancy was a result of that. She wanted a termination, but her family prevented her from getting one. They wanted her to raise the baby, but she didn't even want to touch her and refused all contact in the hospital and said she wanted the baby to be adopted out. Her family tried to stop it, but mom threatened to reveal who the father was if they made her keep the baby. She was kicked out not long after, and mom was only 14 when all this happened, so it was deeply traumatic for her and something she still doesn't like talking about. She only told dad once, and they never talked about it again. That's why dad told us. My sister told her she was in touch with the person mom gave up for adoption, that this woman wanted to meet her and ask questions, and wanted to meet us all. Mom said she wouldn't meet this woman and would not answer questions. My sister didn't listen though, and told this woman that mom had agreed to meet her. She actually went beyond that and lied and promised that we all wanted her to be a part of the family as a daughter/sister, and that mom had loved and missed her and thought about her every single day. Then she brought her to the house during a family dinner. Mom fell apart when she realized and locked herself in her bedroom. Dad told my sister she had to leave and had to take her guest with her. Dad went to check on mom while I made sure my sister actually left. My sister wanted me to leave with them and go to lunch, and that's when I found out about her promise for a relationship with everyone. I told my sister I wasn't going, and she left super mad at me and at our parents. My mom isn't talking to my sister right now. My dad told my sister she had no right to pull the stunt she did, and my sister keeps trying to pretend I'm on her side when I'm not. She keeps talking about how hurt the woman was, that we didn't want to meet and know her, and that she was treated like a criminal when she isn't to blame for how she was conceived. I told my sister she had no right to make promises on our behalf, and I said all hurt feelings are her fault for lying in the first place. My sister said it should be about how we feel. I said the fact is, it'll never be. I said she can have a relationship with her if she wants, but she can't force mom into it after everything mom went through. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. I can't help but feel awful after reading this. Your poor mother was ambushed and traumatized all over again. Please talk to your dad to get her some therapy and go low contact with your sister. Mom doesn't want therapy because she doesn't want to talk about her past again. Dad said he has tried suggesting it a few times, but she just isn't interested. So he tries to be there for her when she needs it. For the most part, she does really good. I know we didn't notice anything before, but this will be a huge setback for her, and my sister is too busy worrying about herself and the woman who was adopted. She is not worrying about the adopted woman. She set her up for an unbelievably heartbreaking and completely unnecessary encounter. This was just as cruel to your half-sister as it was to your mother. Yes, this poor woman believed she was connecting with her bio family and not only finds out she's been duped, but that she is the result of rape and incest. Your sister has done an incredibly cruel thing. Not the a-hole. Oh my God, your sister. How disrespectful. I don't even know you, and I'm so angry at your sister right now. Disrespectful, no compassion, liar, clueless, egocentric, so freaking oblivious. How could she have done this to your mother after your father told you the story? I think I would have hit her, and I'm so against violence. I don't get how she could do it to mom either. I mean, she might have wanted to know about this woman and be family with her, but she knew mom didn't want to meet her or have a relationship. She knew mom couldn't even talk about it. Now she's re-traumatized my mom and hurt this other woman who didn't ask for that. Next story. Am I the a-hole for letting my sister-in-law interview me about being a birth mother, knowing my answers wouldn't be exactly what she was looking for? I, 34 female, gave birth to a baby boy when I was 20 and I put him up for adoption. I don't know anything about him and never had any contact with his family or him. This isn't something I keep secret, but I also don't go into the details frequently either. My husband's younger sister, 22 female, became a young mom at 17. She and her boyfriend considered giving their baby up for adoption, but decided to keep their child and raise her. This made sister-in-law passionate about adoption and adoptee rights and birth mother rights. She fell somewhat down the anti-adoption online rabbit hole. Not to say there aren't negatives to the industry, there are, but she's got a lot of wrong ideas. She's also a college student and focuses a lot on adoption for her assignments. She wants to be a social worker who helps people keep their kids, so adoption becomes a thing of the past. I'm the only birth mother she knows well enough to ask for an interview, and when she asked, I said yes. Her questions focus around a few areas, from why I gave my own baby up for adoption to what could have changed it, and did I have any regrets. She also mentioned some studies about skin to skin, and if I could go back, would I have held the baby and given him skin to skin with me? I'll sum up what I told her and answered with, I have 0 regrets about giving the baby up for adoption, and if I had to remake the choice, I would. This was the only good decision for him. For that reason, even though skin to skin has benefits, I would not have held him knowing about those. Had I held him at all, I would have kept him, and his life would not have been good. I was not selfless enough to put him first. He would have been abused by my ex-partner and I would have stayed. He would have been living among drugs, sex, and all sorts of things, with random people coming in and out, and I would have stayed. Keeping him would not have changed that. All it would do is give him more trauma. The person I was back then was not going to change for a baby. I could have been given a free house, free childcare, a job, and all kinds of supports, and I still would have gone back and exposed him. Therapy wouldn't have helped either, because I never would have taken advantage of it really. I told her I went from one abusive household, my parents, to another, my ex, and that I was enjoying being rebellious and pissing my parents off. That my ex was everything they hated, and they were everything I hated, so I clung to my ex. And because the baby wasn't his, he was never going to accept him. I told her, looking back at me then, and knowing how innocent that precious little boy was, I would have been a monster for keeping him. I told her even back then I knew I wasn't going to sacrifice like that for him. I told her loving and wanting him wasn't enough, because I wouldn't have given him a good life. Sister-in-law argued with me on the point of resources. She said I have no way of knowing if I would have made a better life for us if they were offered. I told her I do know. I told her I know that 20-year-old me better than anyone ever will, and the only life I would have given him would be one full of abuse and neglect. That he never would have been my #1 priority. She argued adoption might not have given that to him either, but I told her it gave him more of a chance than staying with me did. She really didn't like my answers and told me everything I said went against the point of her paper. I told her I couldn't lie, and she asked me why I accepted then. She said I made it seem like adoption is the only option. I told her because there are times when it is the only option. She's mad about it, and my husband told her she came to me and was wrong to be mad at me for answering the questions honestly. She said I made her work harder. Am I the a-hole? And I'm asking because I knew my answers wouldn't be the kind she wants to write about, but I agreed to do this anyway, in part to try and open up her mind. Not the a-hole. Your sister-in-law is so closed-minded and has tunnel vision for her paper. Yeah, and that's a winning trait to have as a mother. Feel bad for kids. Not the a-hole. She needs to see both sides if she's writing a paper about it. If she is purposefully skewing the data one way, she won't be a very good social worker, as she will ignore what doesn't fit her narrative. She won't be a good or an effective social worker at all. She has this skewed view of adoption. Each case a social worker takes on must be vetted thoroughly to find the best outcome for each family. Sometimes adoption is the best option in these cases. She'll be hurting families instead of helping. I hope she doesn't get hired if she's going to push for kids to stay in abusive homes. It sucks how big of an impact on a person's life can be done just because of someone being hired for a position they were never a good fit for. Next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to let my mother-in-law be alone with my baby after what she did? My husband Kyle, 34 male, and I, 31 female, just had our first baby 3 months ago. Since our son was born, my mother-in-law, let's call her Tess, has been overbearing, constantly giving unsolicited advice and making passive-aggressive comments about how I parent. One of the biggest points of contention has been feeding. I'm exclusively breastfeeding, but Tess insists that formula is better because breastfed babies are too clingy. I've told her multiple times that this is our choice, and Kyle has backed me up. Last weekend, my lovely Tess came over to help while Kyle was out running errands. I went to take a quick shower, leaving her with the baby in his crib. When I came back, I saw her holding a bottle and feeding my baby formula. I was in shock. She saw me and immediately said, "See, he's drinking so well. This is why I told you formula is best." I completely lost it. I took my baby from her arms and told her to leave immediately. She started screaming, saying she was just trying to help and that I was being ungrateful. When Kyle came home, he was furious at his mom, but said I might have overreacted by kicking her out so abruptly. Since then, Tess has been playing the victim to the whole family, saying I humiliated her and that I'm keeping her from her grandson. Some family members are saying I should apologize and let her see the baby again, but I don't trust her anymore. So am I the a-hole? Now for the comments. Not the a-hole. Do not leave the baby alone with her. Let her know that she crossed a line, and therefore her privileges of being alone with the baby are revoked. Until she can respect your parenting choices, she doesn't get to be alone with him. Thanks for the advice. Now I'm just ignoring her at my husband's request, so I don't completely turn half the family against me, but I'm definitely not going to let her stay with the baby anymore. She had no business feeding the child something the parents do not approve of. You just don't do that. She was deliberate in her actions. She went and purchased formula and bottles and snuck one in, and as soon as your back was turned, fed the child. This wasn't an oopsies. This was calculated. What if your child developed food allergies down the road? Is grandma going to feed the child the allergen because she knows best? Nope. Not the a-hole. She needs a long time out until she can apologize and take responsibility for her actions. Even then, proceed with caution. I'm exclusively breastfeeding, but Tess insists that formula is better because breastfed babies are too clingy. She is a moron. Have her read a bunch of studies on how carcinogens and toxic stuffs, lead, arsenic, etc., were found in baby formula. Not the a-hole. She is clueless and going to damage that baby's development. Thanks for the encouragement. I am aware of this, which is why I insist on breastfeeding. She reads all these stupid magazine articles and is always trying to prove to me the benefits of formula feeding. I'm betting she herself had trouble with breastfeeding her own babies and is jealous of you or was unwilling to do it for hers and feels guilty. Just a hunch, because her blabbing away about formula being superior to breast milk is nonsense. Not the a-hole. Last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my husband that you don't lose weight magically after going to the gym? My husband, 33, and I, 24, have been married 2 years, and we have a 16-week-old daughter. Prior to my pregnancy, I was active but not as active as my husband. He is big into fitness and stuff, and I really am not. I just worked out because my doctor told me to. I only ran maybe twice a week and had a Pilates class every Sunday. I weighed 120 pounds before pregnancy. During pregnancy, I gained 40. Lost 20 right off the bat after having my daughter, which my doctor said it's normal through my baby herself, fluid, placenta, all that. And I have been working on losing the last 20. While my body looks different, I don't really care, as I am just glad my baby is so healthy and perfect. However, my husband started mentioning my weight at 2 weeks postpartum, literally. He would say it and frame it in a way that was a compliment, but it wasn't. "Oh, you look so good. You look like a mommy now." Or I wouldn't guess it was a whole 20 pounds, maybe just 10 or so. I just rolled my eyes and told him to stop. Honestly, I didn't care. Those comments happened maybe twice a week, so it was easy to forget. My doctor told me to wait 12 weeks before returning to strenuous exercise, so I did. But the moment I hit 12 weeks, my husband was asking me to come to the gym with him literally all the time. He was badgering me almost. I did it to make him happy, and he certainly was happy. I will admit it felt good to have some time to myself, and I didn't mind going at all. But now it's been another 4 weeks since then, and I haven't lost any weight but like 2.5 pounds. My husband seems to think this is because I snack too much, and he told me that. I told him I have to. I am breastfeeding. So that started an argument. He told me that I should go back to Pilates to tighten my tummy again. I told him I'd rather die than do that right now, to be honest. He told me, fine then, at least try harder. I told him I am trying my absolute freaking hardest, and you don't just magically lose weight in the gym. He wholeheartedly disagrees with that, and went on a tangent about how he loves me and my body for carrying our baby, but he wants me to still take care of myself for my health. Whatever. I mean, I get that sentiment. A lot of my postpartum appointments centered around my health as well, but it's more things like recovering, sleeping and eating enough, not working out. So, am I the a-hole here? Your husband is a douchebag. I am afraid he is. You're frigging breastfeeding. You need excess calories to feed your child. Your body also doesn't heal all the way till like 9 months postpartum. Tell him to buzz all the way off. It took me 3 years to stop feeling constantly depleted. And the only thing that got me there was that I stopped restricting calories and ate as much as I wanted and needed. OP, there's a super easy way for you to lose like 170 pounds in one fell swoop. Do you know that inside you have a wound the size of a dinner plate that takes 6 months to heal? Your hormones take 1 to 2 years to settle down again, can be even longer if you are breastfeeding. Your body made a whole other body, and some parts of you will literally never be able to be the same size or strength again. Your husband needs to sit down, learn some stuff, and stop being such a pig. You have a daughter. You need to snap him out of this, or think seriously about leaving in the future, because you do not want him to start on your daughter. This is how eating disorders and other similar problems start. Make sure you start planning in case he gets worse and you need to leave. Please OP, listen to this. I grew up with my dad obsessed with my mom staying skinny, and my mom both having and teaching me to have an eating disorder and body image issues. Even if you aren't convinced to do anything about your husband's crappy attitude for yourself, think about what it will do to your daughter growing up in that environment. Do it for her.